high-level bilateral talks with key government officials, including a meeting with Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden and the Swedish Prime Minister. Senator Shettima will use the visit to explore opportunities for strengthened collaboration between Nigeria and Sweden in areas such as ICT, innovation, education, digitization, sustainable transport, mining and agriculture. Senior Special Assistant to the President and Media and Publicity Office of the Vice President Stanley Nkwocha in a statement said the Vice President will also meet with key stakeholders in both the government and private sector. Nkwocha said the Vice President will also meet with Noxhen, a Stockholm-based venture capital impact investor which recently launched Noxhen 22, a USD $205 million tech investment fund for Africa. Notably, 40% of the investments from Noxhen 22 are expected to be allocated to Nigeria technology entrepreneurs. 12 Nigerian private sector companies that are doing business with Sweden are going independently as a private sector bloc. President Bola Tinubu has elected a secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, to lead the federal government delegation to Jigawa in response to Tuesday night inferno in Media town, which claimed over 100 lives. Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, in a statement said the government delegation will comprise the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, Minister of Transportation, Senator Saidu Al-Khali, Co-Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Shehu Mohammed, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President in Community Engagement Northwest, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai. He said while in Jigawa, the delegation will visit the scene of the incident to assess the situation and visit injured persons in the hospital. He said President Tinubu further directed that emergency aid, including medical supplies, food and shelter, be extended to the 50 victims receiving treatment and others affected by the fire. The President, with a heavy heart, joins the Vice President in extending his deepest condolences to the families of the victims of this devastating incident. He expresses his heartfelt prayers and support to the government and people of Jigawa during this time of tragic loss and grief. He restates his directive to the Federal Road Safety Corps to strengthen travel measures such as increased patrols, stricter enforcement of safety regulations, and other highway safety mechanisms. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Senate has expressed shock over the death of over 100 people who were burned to death while scooping fuel from a fallen truck near Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. The Senate equally called in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and the National Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to surviving victims of the explosion. Correspondent Kolojo reports that the lawmakers also urged the National Orientation Agency to carry out adequate sensitization on the dangers of scooping fuel from falling trucks. The Upper Legislative Chamber reached this resolution on Wednesday after a debate on a motion sponsored by Senator representing Jigawa North, Babangida Hussein.
The Senate is to note that on the night of 15th October, yesterday, a tanker fully loaded with petroleum motor spirit, PMS, called Petrol, exploded along Hadeji Expressway in Majia town, located in Toro local government of Jigawa State, which is about 117 kilometers northeast of Dusi, the state capital.
In a remark, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, warned Nigerians on the dangers in scooping fuel when such accidents occur.
God will grant solace to the families of those who lost their loved ones, and then, of course, Ajana Fidar to those who have departed. And I want to also pray that those in hospitals will also survive. However, I think we should also call on the state government to take proactive steps to save more lives. But may we rise for 1 minute silence in their honor.
The Nigerian Senate has confirmed the appointment of 21 federal commissioners of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission (RAMFAC). Their confirmation follows the submission and consideration of a report by Chairman of the Joint Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs and Finance, Senator Abdullahi Abubakar Kebinoth, during plenary on Wednesday. Correspondent Kolojo reports that the President of the Senate, Senator Godwill Akpabio, urged the new commissioners to give their best in the job ahead of them. However, he asked them to be good ambassadors of their states and the country.
Akin Tayo, representing Ogun State for appointment as Federal Commissioner in the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Amosun Akin Tayo, representing Ogun State, is hereby confirmed as Federal Commissioner in the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RAMFAC.
Now to the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to reverse the recent petrol price hike, citing the increased hardship on Nigerians. The House also called for measures to stabilize petrol and cooking gas prices, such as temporary relief, tax reductions or subsidies for low-income households. In a motion sponsored by 101 members, the House asked the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPCL, and other agencies to expedite refinery repairs and boost local refining to reduce reliance on imported fuel. They also urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement policies that would curb the inflationary effect of fuel price hike on essential goods. Deputy Minority Leader Aliyu Madaki highlighted the financial strain caused by rise in petrol and cooking gas prices, worsened by the removal of fuel subsidies, global oil price fluctuations, and naira depreciation. He warned that these escalating prices will impact on businesses and households, increasing inflation and threatening economic stability. Madaki stressed that without urgent intervention, the nation could face an economic crisis with dire social and economic consequences.
That the rising cost of petrol and cooking gas poses significant threat to livelihood of millions of Nigerians, and unchecked inflation pressure caused by increased prices can lead to social unrest, increased poverty rate, and negative long-term economic effects. Also worried that unless urgent and pragmatic steps are taken to control the rising cost of petrol and cooking gas,
or public office holder must listen to the feelings and yearnings of the people that you serve. I will also want to say that laws are made for man, not man for law. Again, for every law, there is the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. I'm saying this because of the argument of PIA. Yes, PIA has provided for deregulation, but what is the spirit behind PIA?
If most of the constituencies, people are suffering because of this increase. Let me also use the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to borrow a word of our president. When he spoke then, he said, let the government allow the poor to breathe. Today, we are not only calling for government to allow the poor to breathe, we are calling of government not to remove the cylinder that the poor are already living under oxygen. If you remove the cylinder, we are not talking about breathe. We are talking about taking people's life.
I want us to pressurize on the government, because not all countries that produces petroleum are in OPEC. We need to review our OPEC policy. We mustn't be in OPEC, because the only thing that will solve this problem of petroleum increase is to use what we have to solve our problem.
And still with the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has criticized the presidency for violating the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007 by failing to present the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MPF) and Fiscal Policy Paper (FSP) to the National Assembly on time. This breach, involving a delay beyond the 4 months before the end of the fiscal year, was addressed through a motion of public importance sponsored by Honorable Clement Jimbo. He emphasized that the Fiscal Responsibility Act ensures prudent management of national resources, economic stability, and greater transparency in fiscal operations. It also mandates that the federal government submit an MTEP for the next 3 financial years to the National Assembly within the required time frame. The House expressed concern that this delay undermines its ability to perform its constitutional duties, as outlined in Section 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution and Section 30, subsection 1 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
The House further notes that Section 11, subsection 1b, stipulates that the federal government must, not later than 4 months before the commencement of the next financial year, cause to be prepared and laid before the National Assembly and enter for the next 3 financial years.
Is to wake the present government from their slumber. The last budget, like we rightly noted, we were almost rushed. In fact, we were rushed into concluding that budget. And that is what we want to avoid happening again this year. And we can also say that the Parliament perhaps will no longer want to tolerate that situation where the budget, which is a very important, in fact the most important law that will be passed by this assembly, as it has to do with the Nigerian nation, will be brought, and within 2 or 3 weeks we are expected to conclude and pass that same budget, because we want to comply with what we have agreed, that there must be a certain period for budget to run.
The annual budget of FEMA is a mega sum of about 25 billion to 50 billion naira within the last 2 years, which is about 10% of the required amount. Mr. Speaker, sir, aware that the Federal Ministry of Works in the 2024 budget have about 1 trillion naira, thus they need to allocate about 20% of Ministry of Works budget to FEMA in 2025 budget estimates.
The House of Representatives also urged the Federal Ministry of Works to allocate 20% of its 2025 appropriation to the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency to enhance its operations.
Mr. Speaker, this is not what we want to encourage as a House, because anything that's going to affect our function as the legislature, Mr. Speaker, this is something we want to resist. Mr. Speaker, we have seen that this is one of the ways the MDAs are actually shortchanging this country.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. Northern Senators Forum of the National Assembly declares unwavering support and loyalty to Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Details of these and more coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Aggrieved members of Edo State Market Women Union and traders have protested to the palace of the Oba of Benin over corruption allegation and funds diversion against the current market women leader, Blackie Gamen. The women will display placards with different inscriptions calling for the removal of the present woman leader, who was alleged to have embezzled over 100 million naira. Addressing palace chiefs who came to receive the protesters on behalf of Oba of Benin, spokesperson of Edo Traders Welfare Union, Comrade Lucky Urukwe, said the present market women leader has become a problem for the traders. A market women leader who spoke in a local Edo language said the Oba should please come to their aid and find a lasting solution to the corruption being perpetrated by the market women leader.
The atrocity will happen for our Edo market today. Before you go sell your farm produce today for any market, people they sell the market where they go compare you to join union. If you not join their union, they go seize your farm produce where you carry come. 2013, Adansali Oshomole give 100 million naira for poorest of the poorest, for market women, for 3 senatorial districts, for 18 local governments, for a Magwero Hall. They go hand over and give Black. So now we call the ask Blackie since 2013. We never see any Benin woman, any Asian woman, or Uchi will benefit from the 100 million. He said, make we go to what we want to. Say the 100 million, not be market women where they sell for market or for road, now they give.
Responding on behalf of the Oba of Benin, a palace chief who also spoke in the Edo dialect said he thanked them for the peaceful demonstration and promised to relate to the Oba for quick response. Now to other stories. Residents of Dejo Oyilese, a section of the popular Bodija government residential area that was adversely affected by the January 16 explosion, which claimed several lives and destroyed properties worth millions of naira, have called on the federal and Oyo state government to come to their aid, as the situation has become unsatisfactory and pitiable. 9 months after victims mainly affected by the impact of the horrendous explosion say they are yet to come to terms with the tragedy. They called on for the prosecution of the agents of destruction with a charge to government to curb the activities of illegal miners. Residents crave for deeper sense of belonging from government at all levels. They also say the neglect to the explosion site serves as a bitter reminder of the consequences of neglect and the importance of swift and effective government intervention in times of crisis. The spokesman for the Oyilese Vigilante Group wants government at all levels to put machinery in place to help alleviate the untold hardship experienced by these Nigerians.
Everywhere suddenly became completely dark and extremely dusty. I thought the end of the world had come. Scores of residents were seriously injured. Numerous houses, cars, and other properties were either completely destroyed or badly damaged.
The people who represent us in the houses had not thought it fit to show empathy. Where are the senators? Where are they? And when voting comes, election comes, they keep knocking on your door. I am Mr. So. I want to represent you in this area. I think they have a lot to learn.
The blast of 16 January 2024 has rendered many of us homeless and disillusioned. What happened that day was not caused by the activities of any of us. The unmitigated disaster was brought to our doorstep by our stupid people who put money above the lives and well-being of innocent and well-meaning Nigerians. The Excellency President Akpabio met in GCFI and the humane governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Olusegun Makinde, for support and relief.
When disasters happen in other parts of the country, one of the first set of people to rise up to the occasion are the representatives of the people in the local government, state assembly, have House of Rep people, and the senators.
Now to the stories. Residents of Osomoki community in Edo North have called on Edo State government as well as relevant authorities to come to their aid as a result of the devastating effect of erosion, which has washed away their homes and led to loss of lives and properties. The residents, who are predominantly farmers, are appealing to government for immediate action. In this report, our correspondent Dele Fasan takes a look at the devastating effect of erosion and the need for urgent caution. The report.
For over a decade, residents of the agrarian Edo community of Osomoki have been living under fear of losing their homes as the impact of erosion have consumed a large part of the community. A community leader and some victims said it appears government have abandoned the community as they have lost some of their loved ones as a result of the erosion.
We believe the government have abandoned us, it's a dejected community, and we have cried, nobody listening to us. We are making our effort to ensure that this place is controlled, the erosion is controlled, but get out of hand. We have cried to the government severally, and the government promised us they would do something. Many different companies came. Up to today, we've not seen anything good, positive.
Me, I be widow. I know they sleep till daybreak again. Now let me even day house. Mom, everybody don't run away from this side. See big hole when you don't knock my wall for here. And they see they use bike, they pass them because those when they take leg, they pass, they fear now. So I don't know what to do. Me on a can't help us.
It is a demarcation of the environment and the experience is very difficult because the government tell us she have to make use of it. We don't see the government and we don't see anybody, so we are tired of the environment.
A community head who also spoke on the dangers said school children are in the risk of being consumed by the magnitude of the erosion, as some residents have since relocated.
Presently, as we are here now, we have rain falling into the village again now. And most of us now, some of us, we are inside the hole. Find solution how we receive our property and the life of our children.
Many people who have houses there are already relocating. Some are now passing their backyard into their houses. Those who have not relocated and become tenants when they have houses. Some of them have died already because of the situation that is there.
We are appealing to the government to come and rescue this area. We are appealing to them. People are suffering. And funny aspect of it, this is a farm. You can pass through farm road. We have a lot of farm here. Agriculture is in this area. Cashew production is in this area. Yam production in this area. Many farmers can no longer access their farm.
With the administration of Godwin Obaseki expected to vacate office in November this year, the chances of listening to the yearnings of the people become slim, with only a miracle that's needed to prevent more loss of lives and property. From Edo State, Dele Fason reporting for Galactic TV News.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to technical and vocational education and training in Nigeria. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Rahman, who gave the assurance on Tuesday in Abuja, while speaking at the annual sensitization meeting of Technical Teachers Training Program (TTTP), said technical teachers are the bedrock of educational system in any society. Correspondent Kolojo reports that the minister identified apathy, inability to review curriculum within the required time frame, lack of equipment and obsolete equipment, usage of curricula that is supply-driven instead of demand-driven, low enrollment of girl child, among others, as the bane of technical and vocational education and training in the country.
We know there are problems which bedevil technical education in Nigeria and its products, and in consequence, those who are in the teaching of it. A lot of the problems, or some of them, are internal, some external, but I can assure you these problems, most of them, we are going to overcome them.
Earlier, in your remarks, the Director of Technology and Science Education, Dr. Lodo, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Dr. Nasir Guazor, and the Assistant Director of Technical Assistance Division, Department of Technology and Science Education, Balogun Bamidele, stressed the need to equip technical teachers across the country for them to be able to impart required knowledge and skills in their students.
The 21st century teacher is no longer an instructor but a guide, a mentor, and an innovator. Preparing our technical teachers for this evolving role is key to ensuring that our students acquire the skills and competencies they need to succeed in a globally competitive environment. As we gather here today, we acknowledge the critical role our technical teachers play in shaping the future of our nation.
Of inviting all stakeholders, it's not just to come here, we are here to brainstorm how we can train our teachers. Because issue of technology, digital, if the teachers are not trained, we are going nowhere. Because the teachers are the main drivers of technology. That is why this program, we are inviting all stakeholders. Education, issue of education, the federal government cannot do it all alone.
Transform the lives of our students and drive social economic progress. To achieve this, we must first empower our technical teachers with the latest pedagogies, technologies, and industrial relevant skills. This comprehensive training program aims to do just that: upgrade the capacity of our technical teachers in all public secondary schools and technical colleges.
In a significant step towards strengthening the infrastructure of the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education (NMEC) in Kano, the Federal Ministry of Education has signed an agreement with the developer for the completion of the project. The partnership marks the beginning of development of 13 critical infrastructure projects at the NMEC Center in Kano, which will greatly enhance the Commission's capacity to deliver quality educational services. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Dr. Nasir Sani Guarzo, Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Education, emphasized the importance of the collaboration, coordinate and milestone achievement. The Permanent Secretary further highlighted the significance of these projects, noting that they would contribute meaningfully to the development of Nigeria's education sector, particularly in the area of mass literacy and non-formal education. He thanked all stakeholders involved for their tireless effort in ensuring the success of the project. Zubairu Abdullahi, Director of Special Duties of the Federal Ministry of Education, provided an overview of the project's journey.
What we do in the ministry. And I'm happy to tell you that as we are talking today, Masala project have completed all the necessary documentation. They have submitted a proposal, OBC, outline of business case, which ICRC have cleared. They have also submitted the full business case, which ICRC has also cleared. And their memo and their request actually went as far as Federal Executive Council.
Now to other stories, the Committee of Retired Inspector Generals of Police has emphasized the need for experience within the Nigerian police force to effectively address the current challenges facing the country. Retired Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar, while speaking on behalf of his fellow retired IGPs, stressed this during a courtesy visit to the 22nd Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. Correspondent Kule Ojo reports that Abubakar acknowledged the difficult security situation in the country and noted that the retired IGPs are fully aware of the present challenges. He also reaffirmed their commitment to supporting the police force in whatever capacity, offering the collective experience and wisdom to help navigate these trying times.
On the issues of policy and security and strategy in this country. And we shall continue to do this because we are police and police is us, just like you are. You know the challenging situation in this country, and therefore the Inspector General of Police and all of you need experience, expertise, and the technical know-how.
Responding, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, expressed his appreciation for the contributions of the retired IGPs. Egbetokun further noted that the current leadership of the force is building on the strong foundation laid by these former police chiefs and assured them that their legacies are being upheld as the force continues to evolve to meet modern-day security demands.
Visit today is a testament to the enduring spirit of the Nigerian police force. All of you contributed immensely to the growth and development of the Nigerian police force. And I want to assure you that we are building on the foundations that you laid.
As part of efforts to secure schools in Ekiti State against bandit attacks, the Nigerian Police Force has launched a special team known as School Protection Squad across the 16 local government areas. The squad is expected to keep vigil at schools within the state with the aim of making them secured for teaching and peaceful learning. Speaking at the ceremony, Governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Oyebanji, represented by Special Advisor on Security, Brigadier General Ebenezer Ogundano, emphasized the need for the Nigerian police force to intensify effort towards planning ahead of criminal elements rather than waiting until they initiate their operations. And these address are the Strategic Stakeholders Forum on School Security and the Training. The National Coordinator, CP Larry Ogunlowo, explained that the squad is an innovative intervention of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, in ensuring safe and secure environment in schools. Ekiti State Commissioner of Police, Akinwale Adeniran, hailed the IGP for selecting Ekiti State as the first beneficiary of the initiative in Southwest region, saying it's a giant step that will guarantee the security of students and teachers. Olufaki of Ifaki Ekiti also commended the innovative of the Inspector General of Police as it deployed in response to frequent attacks on schools, which of course widespread fear among teachers, students and parents, leading to school closures.
On the zone and in line with IGP's global process to secure our schools from violent criminals, I passionately urge this amazing esteemed consortium of stakeholders in security.
We have seen some of the programs that we launched in the past, and after this event of today, we will not see them until something happens. We want to employ the Inspector General of Police, the coordinator of this program, to carry it back to the Inspector General of Police that this outfit should be made functional.
Vision and cooperation of the member of society, because we are not going to do it alone. Everybody will be carried along. The vigilante, Amotekun, everybody. That's why we have to work together in synergy so that we will not be able to say it's police work. You can see the sister agency, all of them are here, and they are working together. There won't be any vacuum. We will sustain it by the grace of God.
The only thing that we inhabit security, I think it is everybody's business. Coming around to have this kind of program, it will ensure that our schools are very, very safe, so that people can learn in a very comfortable environment without panic.
Now to other stories. The current high cost of food is a huge concern to the average Nigerian household. To achieve food security in the country requires multifaceted approach, which involves investment in sustainable agricultural practices. Galaxy News correspondent Lepi Joseph tells us more in this report.
World Food Day is a day set aside to raise awareness about food security and promote action to combat hunger and malnutrition around the world. The high cost of food in Nigeria has made it hard for families to feed well.
With more effort, we can achieve food security because we have a lot of good soil to produce food for ourselves. So I did not expect us to be import much. Even if we are to be import anything, it should be minimal.
Yeah, our local rice is, local rice is earth-wise is very good. That's why it's expensive more than foreign rice, because foreign rice is a polished rice, while the local rice is just local with no preservative, nothing additive, and all those things.
It is pertinent for government to prioritize sustainable agriculture, empower real farmers, including women, invest in infrastructure, and promote innovative solutions for the country to make significant achievements in food security.
I don't think the price of food will come down, because whatever, if you buy a fuel for farming, the transportation and other things, it is the thing that costs, make everything cost. So I can't go and buy fuel, then later I now can sell my product at a cheap price. I can't do that.
We want government intervention in the sense that, like this feed of 18, we part with somebody to produce the feed. Assuming we have the machine on our own, the cost of this feed will not up to this. Like the one we are selling 18,000 naira now, we can get it as lower as 16,200 naira. So if we have the machine, the pelletizer and the milling machine.
From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Now to the story teased earlier, the Northern Senators Forum of the National Assembly has declared their unwavering support and loyalty to the leadership of the Chairman of the Assembly and Senate President Godswill Akpabio. This decision followed the alleged impeachment move against the Senate President publicized by an online media. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that Chairman of the Forum, Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, while addressing Senate press correspondents on Wednesday, refuted the report of the proposed impeachment, saying the lawmakers are now more united under the leadership of Godswill Akpabio.
Senators Forum were solidly behind the leadership of the Senate, headed by His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON. So we don't have anything or heard of anything like this. So I think we're here to assure Nigerians that they should do away with such rumors, and I think we should most importantly concentrate on the issues that affect our nation.
Speaking in the same vein, the Senate spokesman, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, said the rumor of the planned impeachment lacked merit and has no basis, saying the Senate has been conducting its affairs under a peaceful atmosphere devoid of rancor. He appealed to Nigerians to wave the report aside as it has no semblance of the current situation in the Senate.
There's no cause to even imagine, to even conceptualize, to even think, to even gesture, to even insinuate that there's likely to be a kind of political or legislative imbroglio or higgledy-piggledy.
Now we move to the international desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has presented MPs with a long-awaited victory plan that aims to strengthen his country's position enough to end the war with Russia. Zelensky told Parliament in Kyiv that the plan could finish the war, which began with Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 by next year. Key elements include a formal invitation to join NATO, the lifting from allies of restrictions on long-range strikes on Russia, a refusal to cede more Ukrainian territory, and a continuation of the incursion into the Kursk region of Russia. The Kremlin dismissed the plan, with a spokesman saying Kyiv needed to sober up. Addressing MPs, Zelensky also criticized China, Iran and North Korea for their backing of Russia and described them as a coalition of criminals. He said he would present the victory plan at an EU summit on Thursday. A new proposal to legalize assisted dying in England and Wales is introduced in the UK Parliament, sparking concern from senior church leaders and opponents about the implications of allowing the terminally ill to die on their own terms. Lawmakers in the House of Commons will get a free vote on Labour MP Kim Leadbeater's terminally ill adult end-of-life bill, allowing them to vote with their conscience rather than along party political lines. Details have not yet been published, but the Times said that if passed, a patient who wishes to die is likely to need sign-off from a judge and 2 doctors and will be limited to those with 6 to 12 months to live. Supporters of the bill and opponents were due to make their voices heard outside Parliament, where an assisted dying bill was last debated and defeated in the Commons in 2015. Currently, assisted suicide is banned in England, Wales and Northern Ireland with a maximum prison sentence of 14 years. UK inflation fell unexpected to 1.7% in the year to September, the lowest rate in 3.5 years. It means the annual rate prices are rising as it's now below the Bank of England's 2% target, paving the way for further interest rate cut. Lower airfares and petrol prices were the main drivers behind the surprise slowdown, official figures showed. The surprise fall in inflation in September was mainly driven by airfares and fuel. The Office for National Statistics said petrol and diesel prices were significantly lower, dropping by 10.4% in September compared with the same month a year earlier. Airfare prices for domestic, European and long-haul flights normally fall after the summer rush, but they fell more than normal last month. However, households were hit by an uptick in the pace of food and non-alcoholic drink prices rises, with costs jumping for milk, cheese, eggs, soft drinks and fruit. This was the first time food price inflation has risen since March last year. The surprise fall in the UK inflation rate comes ahead of this month's budget, with Chancellor Rachel Reeves looking to make tax rises and spending cuts to the value of €40 billion. Still on foreign news, Israel has resumed airstrikes on Beirut despite objections from the United States over the way it is conducting its campaign in Lebanon. Israeli military jets targeted the capital early on Wednesday for the first time since October 10. 3 strikes were reported to have hit the southern suburbs of the city. The attack came despite Washington having expressed concern over the scope of Israeli attack on Beirut. At the same time, the U.S. continues to support Israel's war in Lebanon and Gaza, in which it says it aims to destroy Hezbollah and Hamas. The Israeli military stated on social media that Wednesday's strike targeted combat equipment that was stored inside an underground warehouse. A warning had been issued earlier that an attack on the Dahia suburb was imminent, with residents warned to flee the vicinity of a building marked on a map. According to reporters, 3 strikes were heard at about 6:50 a.m. in the Dahia area. The number of casualties remains unclear. Meanwhile, the U.S. has written to Israel giving it 30 days to boost humanitarian aid access to Gaza or risk having some U.S. military assistance cut off. The letter sent amounts to the strongest known written warning from the U.S. to its ally and comes amid a new Israeli offensive in northern Gaza that has reportedly caused a large number of civilian casualties. It says the U.S. has deep concerns about the deteriorating humanitarian situation, adding that Israel died or impeded early 90% of humanitarian movements between the north and south last month. Israel is reviewing the letter. An Israeli official was reported as saying, adding the country takes this matter seriously and intends to address the concerns raised with U.S. counterparts. Israel has previously said it is targeting Hamas operatives in the north and not stopping the entry of humanitarian aid. On Monday, the Israeli military body responsible for managing crossings into Gaza said 30 lorries carrying aid from the World Food Programme had entered northern Gaza through the Erez crossing that ended a 2-week period during which the UN said no food aid was delivered to the north and supplies essential for survival were running out for the 400,000 Palestinians there. And finally, on foreign news, Egypt is set to open the doors to limited sections of a new flagship museum that will display the world's largest archaeological collection when the public is given full access. The Grand Egyptian Museum will open 12 of its halls on Wednesday as a trial run in advance of the still unannounced full opening. The mega project, built near the famed pyramids at a cost of more than $1 billion, will open its halls for 4,000 visitors per day, said Tayyip Abbas, assistant to the Minister of Antiquities. The museum has been under construction for more than 10 years. Some sections have been open since 2022 for limited tours. However, an official date for a full opening has not yet been set. It has been repeatedly delayed for various reasons, including the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 100,000 artifacts of Egypt's ancient treasures will be displayed in the world's largest archaeological museum, according to the Egyptian State Information website. Abbas said the trial run would help prepare for the full opening by identifying operational issues, including which parts of the museum might become overcrowded. The displays across the 12 halls tap into issues related to society, religion, and doctrine in ancient Egypt, he added. And that's all we have on the foreign news.
Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on the news desk today.
Skills has said he regrets not having baby mamas. The singer, whose birth name is John Njenga Jeng, made this known during an interview on BET. He said right now he regrets not having baby mamas because he is the only person in his family bloodline that is alive right now. So his whole bloodline relies on him to produce right now. Skills welcomed a child with his wife Precious in March 2023. However, he has hinted at troubles in a union via multiple Instagram posts. The singer further made it known that he was receiving applications from ladies who wanted to be the mother of his kids. Nollywood stars have flooded Instagram with birthday messages and tribute for veteran Mama Rainbow. The movie star, who turns 82 today, October 16, had taken to her Instagram page to share birthday photos. In one of her posts, she expressed gratitude to her maker for another year. In another post, she stated that turning 82 doesn't mean the end of anything, but the beginning of another year with a full 8 decades of wisdom. In her third post, Writing in Yoruba, she appreciated her maker for his mercy, love, and the universe he gave her. She noted how he lifted her through all her worries and tribulations and has made her life full of joy. She prayed that he opens her more in peace and good health. Many took to her comment section to send her birthday wishes. Adedeji Adeleke, the billionaire father of music star Davido, has revealed that he is building a new power plant. The billionaire man, while speaking at the Seventh-day Adventist General Conference Annual Council, revealed that he and his family generated about 15% of the electricity needed for Nigeria. He further revealed that he is building his new power plant, which will be the biggest in Nigeria. He stated that he's closely working with some Chinese engineering companies and the power plant will be completed in January. Music star Davido has applauded his father, Adedeji Adeleke, as he set to build a new power plant in Niger. Taking to his Instagram page, Davido expressed pride in his father as he called him his hero. Nollywood actress and media personality Bimbo Akintola has spoken out on how some of her colleagues make more money than others. In a recent interview, she said she always queries her colleagues about their lavish lifestyle as she isn't rich. According to her, she said people walk up to her, noting how some of her colleagues are richer, and she makes them know that she isn't as financially buoyant as they are. Bimbo noted how some of them sleep with or date politicians to fund their lifestyles, while some come from a rich family.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Riz Blossom. Bye for now.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Iribami.